Now the latest revelations about documents found at President Biden's home.
Roughly a dozen government documents were uncovered at the home of former Vice President Mike Pence.
The National Archives now wants all former presidents and vice presidents to check their personal records for anything marked classified.
You may be hearing some things on the news about certain folks and their handling of classified material.
Simple game.
No, it's not exactly Mission Impossible, or however you're used to seeing it portrayed in the movies.
It's much worse than you think.
Classified information is actually a bit more mundane.
Disclosure of classified information in violation of the requirements of security classification represents an unauthorized disclosure.
In order to understand what's going on, we need to sort out a few details first. Currently, Obama Executive Order 13526 outlines overall federal guidelines around dealing with classified materials by establishing, quote, a uniform system for classifying, safeguarding, and declassifying national security information. It sets up a few baselines, like who gets to do the classifying, which we'll get into in a second. But most importantly, it spells out the levels of classification. From bottom to top, there's confidential, a designation given to information that if disclosed without authorization could, quote, cause damage to national security. Then there's secret, given to information that if disclosed without authorization could, quote, cause serious damage to national security. And finally, the highest level, top secret, a designation reserved for highly sensitive information, which, if disclosed without authorization, could, quote, cause exceptionally grave damage to national security. Presidents and vice presidents routinely deal with classified documents, and according to Executive Order 13526, both have classifying and declassifying power, along with federal agency heads and specific individuals delegated that authority by the above. It's important to note, though every agency has its own set of rules when it comes to classification, the levels are consistent across the board. Plus, declassification is ruled by a specific process and isn't arbitrary, no matter who you are. And just because you hold classification power doesn't mean you get to handle it as you want. Strict guidelines specified in Executive Order 13526, the National Archives, and other statutes have clear rules on how to transport, view, store, and package sensitive material, which apply to all levels of government, including the Commander-in-Chief. With all that in mind, let's look back at this picture, released by the Justice Department, of some materials found at former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago home on August 8, 2022. Though we don't know the nature of the classified material found, this picture sheds some light. In the image, we see at least 5 documents with yellow cover sheets labeled Top Secret/SCI. Also in view, at least one that read Secret/SCI. According to the National Archives, those cover sheets protect from, quote, inadvertent disclosure of sensitive information. According to code, blue equals confidential, red equals secret, and top secret is orange. You may have noticed something a bit different in that Mar-a-Lago picture, though. That additional SCI stands for Sensitive Compartmentalized Information, meaning what's inside should be processed, stored, used, or discussed in a sensitive, compartmented information facility, a controlled environment better known as a SCIF. When in combination with top secret information, it gets a yellow cover sheet. Overall, though it's true presidents and others have specialized authorities over classified information, the responsibility on how to handle it applies equally to all.